Hello, welcome to Life with Coyote Farm. Today we're going to be talking about charity and philanthropy. Yes, we're all in this life together, so we all have to help one another along the way in some way. We have to find a way, to give, and in so giving, we will surely receive. It's really important to give back and lend a helping hand. Why? Because a society, a nation, its level of civilization, its level of development is really characterized by the state of its most needy and impoverished citizens, not so much the elite or the affluent. And this is very, very important. So we've got to think about the needy, the impoverished. Those that have must find some way to help those that don't have, or those that haven't had the opportunities, because a lot of the times it really comes down to opportunity. Somebody may be poor, not because they're not intelligent, but just because they haven't had the opportunity. So let's see all of us as in this together. We're all brothers and sisters, and we all have to help one another along. Okay, I'm here with BabaCar, an amazing African, an inspirational African. I mean, BabaCar, you're making a difference here in Dakar.
Right.
I'm here on this beautiful day, and I'm just feeling very proud right now to be African, because you've made a difference, and you're continuing to make a difference through sport. Mm-hmm. And you set up this amazing foundation called, the Giving Back Foundation.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Tell us more about it, because it's just wonderful.
Well,
to hear this.
First of all, thank you for coming all the way to my country, and allow us to tell our stories, because there's so much African stories that are untold.
Absolutely.
And I was blessed with encountering sports and basketball growing up. I was in France, but I grew up here. I was born here, and I grew up in France, and my family moved there to get a better life. And when I encountered basketball, I had that vision that it could help a lot of people. Sports itself, the essence of sports itself. And I took my inspiration from a dramatic story, because my sister passed away when I was it's fine. When I was 20 years old, she was 22.
Wow.
And she left behind a project that was pretty much the project I'm doing right now, of how Africans could use their talents to develop Africa in a very sustainable manner. And how if we invest into human beings, they will invest into humanity.
Absolutely.
Back. So I took sports, was my passion, and I was playing basketball all day, and it was at the time where basketball was all around, and it was a big thing, and I took sports and put it into that project and used it as a motor, and use it as a powerful tool for education. And so I built the program around trying to get opportunities, educational opportunities for the kids that were in my program. That was just a grassroots program, and we were set up tournaments, train the kids in France, the African descent kids, and give them opportunities. So I went to the United States, and had an opportunity to go over there, and found a way to get them some scholarships so that they can study. And later on, I came here. It was like I started all up like 20 years ago. And I like to say that I started with $0 and just a vision, and it was 20 years ago. And now we're here. We're in Senegal and really in Africa, because we're in 10 different countries, and we have different programs that we're putting together, all based on how sports and leadership and academics put together can bring those kids to come back in their country and be a part of the whole development process.
Wow.
So it's really a sports for development now, and like it says, giving back. All those kids that we helped, that we empowered, they now are ambassadors of our foundation, but they're also social leaders. So some of them are the president of the different entities that we have all around the world. They're vice presidents. They're into the boards. They're very active, and we like to say that they are social leaders.
Wow.
and that ecosystem now, because it's really an ecosystem.
It really is.
Because we have all part of all of the other people, also sports people that we didn't train, that joined our movement because they recognize themselves into our motto, which is our slogan, which is never forget where you come from.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
And it's something that's very appealing, especially for us Africans that didn't grow up here,
Right.
and I want to come back to the motherland and make a difference.
Absolutely. And you know what I really love about this is the fact here is somebody in the diaspora. We know there's a lot of people, a lot of African brothers and sisters out in the diaspora wondering how they can make a difference. And this is somebody who thought of using sport not just for sort of glamorizing, hey, you know, make a lot of money, get into sports, as we see so often. You're somebody who said, look, how can I use sports to get people from the continent scholarships abroad, you know, to participate, but to participate and come back and help others too. So, you know, leadership.
Yes.
You know, so it's entrepreneurship, it's leadership, it's looking back, don't forget where you come from, and help the other ones to come through as well. So somebody helped me through, and now I gotta, you know, I'm through. I got this great career in sports, MBA, you know, whatever, and then let me now come back and get some more people through the system so they too can flourish. This is something which I love, because so many Africans, when they make it or they get somewhere, they don't want to look back because they don't want anybody to share, or they're worried that, oh, if I help so-and-so, maybe the person's going to take my place, or I'm not going to shine so bright. You know, everybody's so afraid. And you're somebody who's shown fearlessness. How? What? You know, what? Why weren't you afraid? Talk to me about that, because this is where I think you really differentiate yourself as an African leader.
Well, you know, you and I connect well because of what you do in sports and health and fitness, and you know more than anybody else how sports has a kind of a magical value and magical essence and inspiring. Really, when you do sports, when you practice every day, you fulfill yourself of your life. Of something that is giving you a lot. And you go out there and you have to perform before people, and give it to the people. And you know, and that in itself is what I took, you know, to just basically restore what is the best in us, which is to me to give. And I keep telling my players on the court when they're playing, when they're competing, and they're struggling to sometimes score a basket or do stuff that are more glamorous than other things. Just give to your team, give effort, give on the bench, you know, and the more you give, the more you get back in the game psychologically, and you can go back and perform the right way. And it's really the same thing in life, you know. And to me, the more we give, the more we givers, the more this whole thing that we call development for Africa is going to become sustainable. And it's just so logical to me. And the more we gave love to and attention to those kids, and the more they can give to others too. We have this kid that was a street kid begging in the streets here in Dakar, and now he's a basketball standout in France.
Oh wow!
And it's an amazing story because there's 100,000 kids that are begging in the streets here in Dakar. And now he becomes an ambassador for us for those causes, and we go to all those different places, like they're like foster kids really, and they're forced out to beg and for food and money, and he goes out there and he's their ambassadors. We give up mattresses, food, money, whatever we need to do. So we got all those guys we got more than 100 ambassadors now, and we got all those guys that are helping out with the best of itself, their stories, you know, and inspiring others and doing something about it. So to me, it's just the natural power of sports that leads us here, and there's so many ways of using sports. Obviously, there's the sports business, but even for the sports business, we're trying to tell the private sector, the private people. I work for Adidas, you know, and one of my first things in my first order of business when I got into that job was to tell them, hey, you can go and give there, and the more you give, the more you will gain. You know, you don't have to go and take. and they've helped us a lot here, doing a lot of things, a lot of different things here in the orphanages and all of that. And I think that's really what it's all about when you come to Africa.
No,
it's really about how much you can give, how much you can do for others.
Yes.
And today we're blessed. I mean, there's a lot of things that we do because we have that mindset of social business. Really, we have this T-shirt is our brand. You know, and
never forget where you come from.
Where you come from.
Giving back.
You know, we
love it.
Yeah, we produce these T-shirts at a professional level. We sell it in France, a little bit everywhere, and we also have exhibition games there with the pro players. That's the way we raise money in different ways, and we have educational programs and all that. And that's a way to say, hey, you don't always have to go out there and have your hand out and wait for other people to do some things that you can do by yourself.
Absolutely.
So we're not financed by anybody. You know, we have corporate sponsors, but we don't have no public help or government aid or whatever.
Oh,
no, we're trying to do things by ourselves, and to us, it's a great example for those kids that are after us and that go like, okay, I gotta get up in the morning and do something in my life. I gotta make it happen.
Oh, and you're making it happen. And I really want to reach out right now to Africans all over the continent, young Africans all over the continent, Nigeria, Kenya, Zambia, Mozambique, you name it, South Africa, you know, everywhere you guys are watching this. This is a really an example of a very inspirational African. We've all got to be like BabaCar because he started out with nothing. And like he said, now look at him, you know, in 10 different countries, you know, now he's got the foundation, now he's got sponsorships. Why did the sponsorships come? As a social entrepreneur, what he did is he stayed focused on what he believed in. He pursued excellence. He really made sure that what he did with everything. He did it well. He made sure he had a track record. And what happened is that people now came to him, seeing him and said, look, we got to help, we got to support him. So this idea of giving and receiving is critical because he didn't come out with a begging bowl. He was like, look, this is what I want to do. I'm going to go and do it. I'm going to give love. I'm going to give love to these kids. I'm going to help them. I'm going to help them come through. I'm going to show them a way. And in showing them a way, what happened? In giving that love, the love came back to him as people, sponsors, other athletes from all over now came and said, oh, we've got to help him because they were inspired by what he was doing. So that means no matter what it is you want to do, get started.
Yes.
Just get going. I mean, this is the beautiful thing about what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah, and the other thing is that it gave me a lot too. You know, it gave me a career. I got into this. I was 20 years old. I was just, you know, living off passion and love and, you know, and the great idea of changing the world.
Right.
And then, you know, the more I was doing my activity, and the more I was getting opportunities. And I like to say opportunities to the young fellows that are
activities
is opportunity.
It's opportunity.
Yes. So and that's so powerful to me because, you know, I grew up doing that, just having an opportunity, having a vision, and then things happen. You know, the NBA called me, the teams from the NBA called me to scout for them, to be a basketball scout, international basketball scout. I work for Adidas. I do all, and none of those things would have happened if I wasn't focused on my social goals into my project. And it's so important because a lot of people go like, okay, I gotta go and get some money and do this, do that. You know, you gotta trust what you do and have a vision and go through that vision. You know, and that's gonna define your mission. That's gonna define everything.
You hear that? You know? Trust what you do.
Absolutely.
And have a vision.
Yes.
To define your mission.
Yes.
Okay. And then everything goes.
Yeah.
I love that activity creates opportunity.
Yes.
I love that because you're right. Get going, trust what you're doing, get into it, and then everything now will start falling into place.
Yeah.
So everything now starts happening.
Yep.
Opportunities, the door starts to open.
Absolutely. And the more you go, the more you look for impact. We spend hours every week going like, how can we have more impact? How can we have more social impact? What we do right now, that ecosystem that we built can open up to the world, can open up to more kids. And the more we go, and the more we have ideas. You know, we created this social fund right now for organizations to help them basically, you know, have the journey that we had through, you know, social businesses to now being a sustainable sports social business.
Wow.
And so we trying to bring them marketing support and sometimes it's infrastructure support, facilities,
that's great.
and money or whatever they need to be able to build themselves to that level to where they can train kids, they can do all of those things, but empower them through education, through leadership, so that then they'll have also, in 5 years, 10 years from now, also a sustainable system.
No.
And we try to tell them as organizations, you have a duty to serve your communities. You're all those kids that are playing basketball, that are around courts, that are looking up to you when, as a coach or as an organization, you can build something out there. Wherever you have something that mobilizes kids, youth, people, governments, communities, whatever, that means you got something big in your hands. You can do something out of that.
Absolutely. Yes. And sports it's that magical thing that just that gets all of us going, gets all of us excited, that connects all of us.
Yeah. Women also.
Yes.
Women are big in sports here, for example, and really help.
You've got a very strong women's basketball team.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah,
They're
actually African champions. They just won it all, but more important that you have women that are spokeswomen that can go out there and be examples for the young girls in Africa and believe in themselves.
Right.
And all of that again is that magical power sports. And also from our rich traditions of Africans, or there's Maya Angelou, the poetess. She says when you get, give. When you learn, teach. And I think those words right there should be our everyday goals.
Every day. Mantra is every day.
Yes.
When you get, give. When you learn, teach.
Absolutely.
I love that. And you'll just keep coming back.
Yeah.
Keep coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And with sports, I was speaking at an event I think last week where a lot of women, man, we like football, basketball, all the sports, and we tend to be focused a lot on sports, and women are like, oh man, you men in their sports. But I was talking about leadership, I was talking about teamwork, and I was saying that if you want to understand leadership and teamwork, watch sports teams.
Absolutely.
Look at how sports teams work together.
Yes, the dynamics. Yes.
You'll learn so much.
Absolutely.
So women, even if you're like, oh, I'm not really big in sports, whatever, still support sports.
Right.
If sports supports women's sports teams.
Yes.
Study sports.
Yes.
Study sports leadership.
Yeah.
You will learn so much.
Especially the team sports.
Yes.
Also, because you have to deal with so much competence.
Absolutely.
People, that are working for you, but also those people have to give you a good service.
Absolutely.
So that you go out there and perform. Just at the entrepreneurship level. Imagine you're the boss of an NBA star.
Right.
But he also has a lot of power in your club. You're his boss, but at the same time, you have to be at his service.
Right.
You have to service him right. If not, he's going to leave to
Absolutely.
another club. Mm-hmm. So players have leverage. So that's good for all those entrepreneurship skills right there to develop, to know that, hey, I'm the boss, but I can also serve my people. You drop one. It's a bit like of humility right there. And I think all the dynamics, like you said, of having teammates.
Oh.
I'm not playing a lot, but my team is winning.
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do?
And it comes back to you. You're not playing a lot. Is your team winning? It's coming back to you. Yes. Team's not doing well. It's coming back to you.
Absolutely. What can I do to make my brother right here, my sister, my teammate right here better?
Absolutely.
And that's the mark of the great champions that we know also. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think that's this idea of leadership. Great leadership is great followership. You want to lead, you've got to be able to follow. So that humility, which I think you display so well. This man is so humble.
Thank you.
He's achieved so much, but you can see the way he's just, his demeanor, everything is just so humble. He's still in that giving spirit, and we've all got to try and emulate BabaCar in some way. Right. I'm going around Africa looking for African heroes. I got one right here.
Thank you very much.
BabaCar's example of a true African hero.
Thank you.
And we need more. We gotta be more like him. We need more heroes. Our young people need more heroes. BabaCar.
Well, thank you for coming and telling my story to the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, I appreciate you very much.
Yeah, no, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
God bless. Thank you.
Right.
Go.